Math 102, example 3.7.1. So we've solved rational equalities. Now let's look at inequalities. If you remember the steps that we solved for quadratic inequalities, what we're going to do here is going to sound very similar. So we start by solving as if it were equal. So as we said in our previous section, to solve, let's multiply both sides by the LCD, by our denominator. Now, because we have 0, what happens? That denominator basically disappears, and we essentially took the numerator equal to 0. So here I do just get positive 2. Now, we do still need to worry about that denominator, because our domain, we take where the denominator is not equal to 0. So here I get that x is not -5. Now you can find 2 and -5 in either order. Doesn't matter what order you find them in, but we definitely need to find both of them. Then let's make a number line. So here's -5, here's positive 2, and let's check x values. So again, for the left interval, I need a number less than -5. -6 is probably the easiest. And let's plug -6 into our inequality and see what happens. I get -8 over -1. Whoops, I'm sorry, I want a less than sign here. Less than. So I get 8 is less than or equal to 0. And that is definitely not true. So let's put a no there. I need a number between -5 and 2. 0 is probably the easiest. Is -2 over 5 less than or equal to 0? Yes, it definitely is. And finally, I need a number greater than 2. Let's pick 3. And let's plug it in to see what we get. I get 1/8. And that is not below 0, so let's put a no. Now, rationals are less predictable than our other functions, and that is why I strongly recommend using your graphing calculator to help. Now, I'm only graphing the left-hand side. I'm only graphing the actual rational equation, not the inequality part. So let's graph that and see what it looks like. And let's draw that here as well so you can see it. So the -5, that's where we had our asymptote. And then here's positive 2. And our graph looked something, that goes all the way to 2. Something like that. Oops. And I just graphed that on the wrong side. There we go. It's up there. And then down there. There we go. Now again, we can see where it crosses the axis, which is here at 2. And we can also see that vertical asymptote. Again, you can check the table. If I go to the table, I have a 0 at 2 for the y value, and then scroll down, there's the error message at -5 for the vertical asymptote. Now again, to actually figure out the inequality part, I want to know where it's below 0. So below the x-axis. And hopefully when we have this picture, we can look at that and say, okay, this middle piece is below the x-axis. That's the piece I want. That's where I got a yes. So my answer is -5 to 2. Now I'm going to put a bracket at 2 like I normally would, but I'm going to put a parenthesis at -5. That's because the -5 came from the denominator. If the number comes from the denominator, we're not allowed to be equal to it, because that's where we have division by 0. That's where we have our vertical asymptote. So please be careful. Any number from the denominator must take a parenthesis, and that is our answer.